Skull Island is the latest animated series on Netflix by Powerhouse Animation. It's 8 episodes long, and it takes place in Legendary Entertainment's MonsterVerse universe. That means Godzilla, King Kong, and well, I guess those are the two big names in their MonsterVerse universe, not including the villains, of course. So, like I said, this is a new animated show on Netflix. It just came out, 8 episodes long. It's a quick, fun watch. It's about this family and friends well, it's a bunch of people who get shipwrecked on Skull Island, and they have to learn how to work together to get off the island. That's the basic premise. It's a really fun, good animated show. A lot of crazy, interesting monsters. Like every episode has like a cool new monster to look at. And I really like these characters. They have great dynamics. So like I said, the basic plot is that you got all these people who are searching for different things on the ocean, who end up getting attacked by this, at the beginning we believe is a giant squid or something like that, and their ships sink, and the survivors of those ships end up on Skull Island, and a few of them form, these shaky friendships, I guess not friendships, but teams to, like I said, work to perform their goals. Like there's a dad named Cap who's trying to find his son and his son's best friend who got separated from him. There's this scientist who's trying to locate this girl and her pet giant dog monster. Without giving too much away, I'll talk spoilers in a little bit. For their own not nefarious reasons, but for their own reasons. And of course, if you've seen any of the MonsterVerse movies, especially Kong Skull Island, you know this island is just full of all kinds of crazy monsters, like I mentioned before, and it's not an easy place to survive. So, like I said, this show has great animation. It's by Powerhouse Animation. They made the Castlevania animated show on Netflix, which is just fantastic, and I absolutely love. Seis Manos, yeah. It's like a crazy kung fu action show, which only got one season, was kind of disappointing because I really liked it. And The Blood of Zeus, I believe, is the other show they have on Netflix that has one season so far, but supposedly it's about to get a second one. So they do a great job, like I said, animating this show. Great character designs, great monster designs. Like I said, they really went all out with the monster designs because, as I stated earlier, like every episode has like a new monster or maybe even a couple of monsters that show up, and it's very cool and interesting. So I absolutely like this show. Like I said, I like the characters, I like the story. I'm going to talk spoilers a little bit more so I can, express myself a little bit better on why I enjoy this. But like I said, it has great animation, it has great characters, it's a nice, good story. Nothing too overly complicated, but it keeps you interested as it goes on. Like I said, it's 8 episodes. I think they're 20 to 25 minutes long, so it's a quick watch, quick, fun watch. Like I said, you can watch it all in one sitting, and you probably are going to want more. So I give this show an 8 out of 10. It's fantastic, like I said. If you've seen any of Powerhouse Animation's other shows, you're going to enjoy it because, they're not only good at the animation portion, they're also really good at the story aspect of it. Because even if it looked fantastic, if it didn't have good story to back it up, it just wouldn't be good. So an 8 out of 10, like I said, I really enjoyed it. If you like their previous work, I definitely recommend it. If you like, Godzilla, King Kong, all that MonsterVerse stuff, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, it takes place in that universe. I know there's some callbacks. The one there I really noticed was there's this soldier who talks about the events of Kong Skull Island, and I want to say that's maybe the only thing that gets mentions from that universe. Maybe there's more that I just don't recognize. I haven't seen all the movies, if I'm being honest, but I think it's a good fit for those who like that universe. Okay, so I'm gonna talk spoilers. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. If you hear, you're gonna get spoiled. So, like I said, there's two groups of people on this who get shipwrecked on this island. There's a father named Cap, uh, a boy named Charlie, Annie, and Mike. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Uh, who also get shipwrecked, who are kind of part of one group. Uh, so there's a group. Their group is looking for Skull Island. Like, you find out as the series goes on that, like I mentioned, that soldier earlier who knows the events of Kong Skull Island. He kind of memorized where the location of the island was, and he sold the notes to Mike and his dad, and them together with Cap and Charlie, they're traveling to this island because their dads are these like crypto nuts or crypto zodiac kind of people, and they want to discover these undiscovered creatures, and they end up rescuing Annie, who in the beginning of the show we see has been captured by this other group of people, and it looks like a bunch of mercenaries. They have guns and everything, and she's handcuffed together. So we obviously believe that they're capturing her for bad reasons. So she ends up getting rescued by the other ship with Cap, Charlie, and Mike, and she's freaking out. She's like, we can't talk to these people because they end up finding her. But as soon as that, they get discovered by this other group, they get attacked by this giant kraken. At first, some of them think it's just like a giant squid or whatever, but it's a giant kraken. Like, we see it at the end of the show. Like, they build it up nicely. This thing's kind of like the big bad boss threat of the show. So it attacks the ship. It kills almost everyone except for Mike, Charlie, Annie, and Cap. They're the only survivors on that ship. So they end up getting washed ashore on Skull Island, and they meet, or Cap gets separated from his son and his son's best friend and Annie, and he meets up with this other group, and they're the ones who are chasing Annie and her dog. It's like this giant monster that she just calls Dog. Very cool creature, I love it. But they're trying to capture her. We don't really know why. We kind of assume that they want the monster, like they're evil government agents, and they want the monster and they want Annie for their own reasons. As the story goes on, we learn that Annie is the lead the mercenary group lady. She's a scientist. I believe she's a scientist. Her name's Irene. And it turns out that Annie is her long-lost daughter. She crashed with her dad on a different island a long time ago, and her mom just thought they were dead. Like, there's a scene where she emotionally breaks down. She's like, I buried you 10 years ago. It breaks my heart. I'm your mom or whatever, because Annie doesn't know her, and she thinks they're just trying to capture her. But realistically, they're just there to bring her back home. But she's become kind of wild, and she doesn't trust people or anyone. She just trusts her dog, her monster dog. So I love that revelation. Maybe there is a little bit more evil going on back there with them, but the group seemed sincere that they were just there to try to get her. So they get, like I said, they get stuck on the island, and they eventually all get formed back up when they realize that, they're not all necessarily evil, and they kind of need to help each other to get off the island, because the giant kraken isn't allowing any helicopters or planes or boats to get near the island. So the only way off is to kill that thing. So Charlie decides to use Kong, King Kong, who is in the show. He shows up like in the third episode, and we kind of see him in the background a few times. And the third or second episode, he shows up, but he doesn't play a major role in the show until like the last two episodes. The second to last episode, the seventh episode, is a flashback about him and some of the humans on the island, and kind of why he has a grudge against this kraken. In the last episode, he fights the giant kraken, and spoiler, he ends up killing it. It's a really cool, fun battle. This kraken is awesomely designed, and it's it's a little terrifying. Like, it almost kills Kong a few times, and it just does not stay down. So fantastic design, fantastic monster. And then the show ends on a cliffhanger. There's a few things that happen. Mike, throughout the show, it kind of looks like he's poisoned. I kind of thought it was an infection, but it kind of implies that the giant kraken monster maybe kind of poisoned him. So he's kind of been sick through most of the show, and they have to get him out to save his life. So we don't know if they saved his life. Um, Annie gets sucked into the water during Kong and the Kraken's fight, and she wakes up in the hospital like 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later or something like that with her mom, and she's just kind of freaking out. And Charlie, the one of the other main character kids, he gets captured by a group of natives on the island, and we don't know what happens to him. We know his dad chases after him, but we don't know what happens to any of those characters. And oh, excuse me. That's where it ends. We don't know the fate of a lot of the main cast. We just know that Annie survived, and she's back in civilization with her mom. And I'm guessing they're gonna have at least a second season. Hopefully, hopefully it's in the works. Hopefully it comes out soon. Like I said, I really enjoyed the show. Um, so there's a lot in here to enjoy. Like I said, it's a great, fun action adventure show with great monsters, great animation, great characters, good emotional moments. It's a fun show. Like I said, I definitely recommend it. 8 out of 10. If you watched it, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Could it have been better? Are you excited for the second season? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.